All right, later today, Bergdahl, the U.S. soldier held captive by the Taliban for 5 years, is expected to admit to a court that he is a deserter.
After trading 5 terrorists for his return, the Associated Press reports that Bergdahl will plead guilty to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy, rather than face trial for abandoning his fellow soldiers in Afghanistan back in 2009.
Yeah, our next guest led the Special Forces search for Bergdahl, former Green Beret commander, Fox News contributor, and author of the book Warrior Diplomat. He's retired Lieutenant Colonel Michael Waltz and joins us this morning. Colonel, thanks for being here. Obviously, this is a personal matter for you, but what do you expect Bergdahl to plead this morning?
Well, yeah, you know, this is justice 8 years in the making since he walked off his base in 2009, and this is justice for not only the soldiers and the men and women who were directly involved in the search for him, but all of the ones all across Afghanistan who were starved of assets that they normally would have had, medevac, air support, drones, intelligence assets that they would have had in the fight, but it was all diverted to look for Bergdahl.
Right.
So I'm expecting to see this morning Bergdahl plead guilty to both desertion and misbehavior in front of the enemy. And I think then we'll see, and later on in the month, we'll see a sentencing phase where I expect and I hope he is given a dishonorable discharge, reduced to private, deprived of all back pay, hundreds of thousands that's been accumulating for him. He doesn't even deserve the honor of being called a POW in my mind. He needs to be called a deserter and given zero benefits. I don't even want to see him held in the same sentence as a veteran or a POW that served honorably. And then finally, we'll see what type of jail time he gets. He's up for life in prison. That's what I hope and expect that he gets, and that's justice in my mind. But he may get, as part of the plea bargain, some type of time served for his 5 years in captivity.
Well, it says something that he would go ahead in front of this court, say, I'm a deserter, given the fact that the Obama administration, a number of officials, praised him so highly. But, you know, Colonel...
Well, to be clear, Steve, the National Security Advisor went on national television, Susan Rice, and said he served with honor and distinction. We clearly see that that's not the case.
Sure. So the question is, going forward, you know, if he winds up in jail for a very long time, maybe life, something like that, there have been a number of stories where people have said, you know, during the search, a number of American soldiers were killed, and then, you know, other people have been on television and said, nope, that never happened. You're the authority. Were people killed looking for Bergdahl?
Look, there is zero doubt in my mind. Soldiers were injured, soldiers were killed directly in the search, and then what's more difficult to prove, like I was saying, was indirectly. You know, how many were harmed because they didn't get that medevac as fast as they should have because it was dedicated to look for him. And one of the key aspects of this case, in fact, was that the judge allowed as evidence and, you know, a Navy SEAL, several Army sergeants that were wounded on operations they normally would not have been on. My own men were actively baited into ambushes and were sent on operations, and I had to send them that we normally would not have done if it were not for this search. And if I can give you one other point that's really not being discussed, is we have those 5 Taliban commanders, some of their most senior, that are out recruiting, fundraising, and serving as a morale boost for the insurgency today, where we still have soldiers. So how about accountability for them? And then how about accountability for the no concessions policy that we violated, because we still have hostages all over the world, and our negotiators have been undermined by this act that the Obama administration took.
All right. Well, at least he's pleading guilty. I think that makes a lot of people feel a sense of relief and justice, knowing that he's going to get punished.
Yeah, 8 years we've been waiting on this day.
That's right. Okay.
Colonel Michael Waltz, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.